Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video covering two highly anticipated, at least from me, two IEMs that I've really been anticipating. I've got the Davinci from Dunu, which is a collab with Giz Audio, and the Hisenior Mega5 EST. I love both of these from a music listening and entertainment perspective. We'll get into it a little bit. You guys can see the default cable here for the Dunu on the left, the Mega5 cable on the right. I love both of these cables. I think you get a really nice cable out of the box with both of these IEMs. The Dunu cable is interchangeable. They're both 2-pin, and you can see right now I've got a 4.4 on the Dunu cable, but both the cables I had absolutely no issues at all. They feel high quality. They've got a good weight to them. Both are really, really nice. Getting into the unboxing of the Davinci, it actually is a really, really nice package. I love Dunu and all the add-ons that they always give because I feel Dunu's ear tips are actually just really, really nice. But the carrying case is very similar to the other IEMs from Dunu, like the SA6. And the cool thing with the Davinci is the faceplate, they're all unique, which is also similar to the SA6 as well. I really like that. I like that no two IEMs are alike. It's just a really nice touch and something that's really cool that your IEM is really kind of unique to you. But you've got the Dunu candy ear tips in the box. I think you get the Dunu SNS ear tips as well and an extra set of silicone tips. And then you get, of course, the other termination for the cable, and you do get the 635 add-on. So it's a really nice package, especially given the fact that it is a really nice default cable out of the box. When we get to the Mega5 EST, it's also got a nice unboxing and a nice package in general. It does open up like this, and then you've got just a slew of different ear tips, as well as a cleaning cloth, a clip, and some foam ear tips as well. Nice thing with the Mega5 EST is you do kind of get a really nice kind of pelican-like case as well, which you can put a slew of IEMs up here or your cable and a few different things down here as well. It's a really nice carrying case, super heavy duty. I really, really like it. Now, in terms of overall comfort, I am actually somebody that works very well with both of these. The Dunu Davincis fit perfectly in my ear. The Mega5 ESTs also fit really, really nicely. I can play with these for upwards of 8 hours and not have any issues in terms of overall comfort. In terms of the overall tonality of these, for music, I struggle kind of picking one or the other. I really like both of these. The Dunu Davinci is a really nice sub-bass emphasized warmer sounding set, warmer than the Mega5 EST, which still actually does have a little bit of warmth as well. But it's got a really tangible, resonating rumble. Like you will feel like these have just a boomier rumble on the bass in a lot of tracks in that region. It's fun. The bass has good extension. It has good texture, and it feels and sounds smooth. I don't notice any of the bass bleeding into the mids, and the mid-range, I think, is actually really eccentric, fun, and really clear. The mid-range is, I think, the timbre is very natural sounding, clean, and transparent. The IEM does not have any sibilance that I noticed, and I think that the treble is well controlled. It's never too bright. It sounds really good, and in terms of, like, if you're listening to a lot of rock, a lot of things that have a lot of cymbal strikes, etc., I just didn't find anything to be too spicy or not have a lot of air. There was, I think, nice drive in the treble region. But if you're not somebody who likes a warmer sound signature, you're not somebody who likes that big sub bass, this might not be the set for you because it is a little bit bass boosted. But it's a really fun set and one that is not fatiguing at all. It's a really nice listen. I think that the male vocals, female vocals, I think vocals stand out in the track a little bit more than the Mega5. To me, the Mega5 EST is this really interesting set where everything is kind of even keeled throughout the track. Everything is very well separated. The layering is fantastic. It leans more towards a natural sound presentation than the Dunu Davinci, but it's still a bit warm in terms of the low end. but it doesn't have as much resonating rumble. So you'll maybe hear and pick up a few more things on the Mega 5 than the Dunu Davinci. It's actually a very smooth feeling IEM as well. It's a very easy listen, but enough bass to keep things feel alive. It still has a big punch, just not that resonating sub bass that comes with it. The mid-range is smooth, it's natural, and the upper harmonics are never shouty or bright. I think the treble has great extension, it's clear, it feels alive, and it's just not a fatiguing set. Both of these sound very good. I don't find the staging on the Dunu to be as wide as it is on the Mega 5, but I find the imaging to be a little bit better on the Dunu than it is on the Mega 5. And that maybe is a good transition to get into gaming. For Apex Legends, one of the things that we look for that is probably the most important thing for Apex, well, I guess everything kind of coalesces together to provide a really good competitive experience, but the sub-bass rumble here, and you guys could probably see that already, is a big issue in terms of separation. For me, I was using SpinFit W1s, and that did bring the bass down a little bit compared to what I was using initially, which was a pair of Aslas. And apparently you can actually put some tack over the vent on the back to reduce the sub bass as well. I saw that in Resolve's review, which was pretty cool. I haven't tried that yet, but the issue is when you're popping batteries, shield cells, when you're shooting even, teammates are shooting, grenades are going off, ultimates, there's just too much sub-bass rumble and resonance. So it's hard to pick up a lot of the lighter things. And not just the lighter things, but just like footsteps in general. When you're shooting, it just becomes a little bit occlusive and it's hard to focus on what's happening in the fight. I think the imaging, the verticality are actually there. The depth perception's there as well. It's actually quite good. It's just that resonating rumble. It makes the game feel alive, makes the game feel epic, but it just occludes too much of that data retrieval going on. But because those other elements are there, I would probably score it a B- in Apex. Like, I think you could still take this in and do well. It's really just those third party, fourth parties, those small circle situations when you're really trying to climb at like Masters or Diamond and Masters or Masters to Predator, where that issue would really be a prominent feature that would take it down to maybe a B- to a C+. When we talk about Apex with the Mega 5 EST, it's almost like the opposite scenario. The soundstage isn't as intimate feeling as the Dunu Davinci. It's almost like it's a little bit too far because everything is like even keel. Everything, like nothing really protrudes through the mix greater than anything else. There still is like a lot of that sub-bass punch, which at times can cause some separation issues in third parties and fourth parties, just not to the extent of the Dunu Davinci. But one of the issues is the soundstage is like almost too wide, and the sound just kind of gets away from me too much. I feel like I'm straining to hear things through the mix that I would typically hear with a little bit more emphasis, like I do on the Dunu Davinci. And because of that, it just feels as though the depth perception takes a hit. It feels like the imaging takes a hit compared to other sets. And I think that I would probably score it because of that issue around a B- as well. Maybe a B to B- because the separation's a little bit better. But I think I'm more so happy around that B- area, especially with the Super Mix 4 scored at a B, which I do feel is a better competitive gaming set, at least the version that I have. If the tuning stayed the same with the retail version, I think that I would probably stay around a B- for the Mega 5 EST. When we get into Call of Duty, I actually like the Dunu Davinci for COD. I think it's so immersive feeling. You've got this overall like rumble on a lot of things, of course. Precision airstrikes, mortar strikes, but a lot of those sub-bass elements that punch, like people pounding through doors, people running above you, you get those deep thocks. Those actually shine through on the Davinci. And the soundstage being a little bit more intimate, the things that are happening around you, you still pull through the mix. It's just the real issue is when you're shooting, it's a little hard to hear the lighter slides and people like coming up the stairs. as opposed to people being above you where you get those thocks. It's just like you might find that people kind of sneak up on you sometimes. A little bit easier on this if you're shooting or mortar strikes are going on, precision airstrikes. I do think, though, that it's really not a bad set at all for Call of Duty. I would probably score it at like, I think I would probably keep it around a B- for COD as well. Again, just because of that resounding rumble, you might find yourself missing a few things every so often. The Mega5 EST is actually not a bad set in COD either, but again, you kind of start to strain to hear some of the lighter taps as people are getting away from you. I think that's the biggest thing, and the imaging begins to fade away. You begin to lose track of people at a distance. Overall, it sounds quite good, but I just don't think that I can score it any higher than the Dunu Davinci, so I would probably keep both of these at a B-. You can kind of see like the intricate balance of that soundstage either being too intimate with maybe a little bit too much rumble or a little bit too wide and losing out on some of that emphasis coming through the track. It's kind of like a very, very intricate balance. In Valorant, I think both of these perform pretty well. I would probably score the Mega5 EST a little bit higher. Things in the mix are actually quite reduced. But gunfire does pierce through quite well on these close range maps, and footsteps do come through with pretty good depth perception. The issue with the Davinci is, I think the imaging is still maybe a little bit better than the Mega5 EST. It's a little bit more intimate, and the resonating rumble on Vandal abilities with Operator, Sheriff, it occludes footsteps a little bit. You just find yourself missing out a little bit. So again, it's one of those intricate balances. I think, though, that I would probably score both of these with how Val's engine is. I think I would score both of these around a B. Like, neither of these offend me in Valorant to the extent that I would knock it down a point to a B-. I think it's a little bit easier because the engine in general is a little bit better. The maps are a little bit smaller, and we're only focused on a 5v5. There aren't abilities being spammed, etc. I think it's a little bit easier, and I think they're both okay in Valorant. So I think I'm happy with the spot I'm putting both of these on the Wallhack certified tier list, which is going to be at a B-. So guys, that is going to be it for this one. I think both of these IEMs are absolutely fantastic from a music listening perspective. I do want to add, though, I've been asked a lot about like what I would recommend for single player games. I think the Dunu Davinci would be great for VR and single player titles because of that sub-bass emphasis and that resonance, the soundstage being a little intimate, and the imaging being pretty good. I think these would be solid for that purpose in particular. If anybody wanted a really nice and classy looking set, I would definitely recommend them. The IEMs I have coming up, I've got the Tigerism Sunflower, and I have the Pilgrim Noir that I'm taking a look at now, as well as the SimGod EM10. First impressions of the EM10, I think I'm going to have it lower for competitive gaming than I have the Super Mix 4. But I still need to test and get those thoroughly kind of through the ringer. But I will have the Odyssey Maxwell first. I want to get you guys that wireless headset first. So we'll get the Maxwell, and then we'll get these other IEMs, and we'll keep churning them out. But that's it for this one, guys. I hope it helped. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel. See you guys in the next review. Peace.